tidy room. In fact, my tripod is moving and I'm not even touching it. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. Look at that. It's just slowly tilting. No, this is not an AI camera. It's just it's just my tripod being silly. So I have an update for you guys. So what happened last week, 12th? Now, first let me just explain. Today I went to the bank to make a new card because I was eventually going to make a card this year. My card expired. So, well, it was going to expire this year, so I might as well just change it now. And, because of everything that was going on, I decided to rush and get everything done. Thankfully, a lot of things worked in my favor. A few months ago, I was regretting just signing up with Amazon abruptly because in order to do that, I had to create an entire um, what you call it, freaking tax number, which obviously was such a headache. I even paid taxes. I even paid some taxes. No, no, not paid taxes. I actually worked with a tax practitioner to help me out. So it was such a lengthy task, but it actually paid off. You know, I was regretting just signing for taxes now. I was like, maybe I should have just awaited it. But you know what? You know what? Turns out it actually helped me because I was able to have my very own um, invoice. I printed it out for changing my address, and after that, um, I went, to the bank. They changed everything. The last time I'd been in the bank was 2021, I think. Yes, 2021, or was it 2022? I can't remember their full thing now. But no, no, 2021, I remember. And everything was so different now. There's now nice cubicles you can get into. And, just as you enter in front, there's there's this there's this guy, there's these two guys out there that you just, you speak to them and ask them if you ask them stuff and they enter your details in. So, they'll tell you what will happen next, who will call you. And then I was called in by this nice bank teller, and um, within like 10-15 minutes, everything was complete. Got a new card and everything. Now, here's the thing. I didn't know that last week my case, the money returned to me. I didn't know that. You know why? Because on my official app, banking app, it was unresponsive. So anytime I click on the banking app, nothing shows up. So that was strange for me because obviously I was told that, when I change my card, everything will come back to normal. When I went today on my banking app, it still showed nothing popping up. So what happened? What I had to do was go on the website, on the official website, which had more features. So I went in, signed in, changed my card, and then I saw that last week Wednesday, all of the money that was scammed from me returned to me, all of it. And I was like, "What? No way! I didn't even receive any message or any notification. What is this?" So I was like so excited, and now my app is updated, which is good. So everything is back to normal. Don't worry, guys. I will not fall for it again. I will not. Okay, okay. My live stream keeps. Okay, okay. My live stream keeps cutting out. I'm sorry. Something is really wrong with my Wi-Fi, especially if I sit over here. I've noticed the Wi-Fi cut out a lot. So, thank you guys so much for telling me about the scam. But honestly, I was regretting phoning my bank because nothing was getting done. So I was afraid that, you know what, I will never see my money again. I would rather just take the L, and move on. Turns out that all of it was worth it at the end. All of it was worth it. It made sense. I got my money. I don't know if the money was this exact money from the fraudster or if my bank decided to have some injection into my money. I don't know. I really don't know. So that's good. That's really good. Everything is good. My new card expires on like 5 years from now. So uh, I wonder how the bank will look 5 years from now. It's really crazy how things changed so much over the years. And Um, Hopefully, things remain the same because the bank looks so comfortable now. It's so comfortable, so organized. I like it. I went to the bank myself, by the way. This is for the first time I've ever been to the bank myself. Previously, I've been escorted by my parents, so now it makes sense. Like even months ago, no, okay, no, no, back in 2021, I remember even when I went, uh, where I was with my mother. She also went to change something, so we both split when it came to seeing different tellers. And what happened was that was like the first time I actually had like some independence. But today was like a very big day for me because I had such a big, uh, big moment of independence. I normally would have went with someone, but you know what? I was afraid. I was genuinely afraid of going with someone, going without someone because what if there's a problem? You know, what if I need to do something and someone might need to be there to, I don't know, do something. Anyways, I'm just here to say that I'm just here to say that everything worked out well. So I also banked in some new money too. So don't worry, I will not fall for any of these scams again. I promise you guys. I promise you guys that. You know, it's my fault that I felt for it, but I just feel like, you know what? So much changed because of that. You know, as soon as I was frauded, you know, I pulled up my socks and started, you know, doubling down on my work. So I've been, you know, changing plans for my book. So I used to just sit in front of my screen for the most part and write. That would be really slow. I would be like writing a few paragraphs a day and sometimes maybe one paragraph. It was too slow. But as soon as I just started writing on paper, everything just worked out. You know, of course, this is just the, you know, one of the drafts, but the second and third drafts obviously will make sense. And I want to do those drafts digitally. But obviously, the first draft should at least be done on paper so I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, so everything makes sense. And I've had a blast writing for the past few days. I managed to finish like 30 something pages. And since it's a cover, I mean a A4 cover book, it's really big. Obviously, the book size I'm planning is going to be more smaller than that. So obviously, we'll assume like I possibly finished like you could say 50 pages of my draft if you calculate it to the official book size. So I feel like things will get done if I just keep working. But you know, when I was frauded, I had to pick up everything. I had to pick up my socks, pull up my socks really high and start just working swiftly because I had to do something or else I realized that you know what, if I take life too serious too simply too easily, of course something like that's going to happen and I'm going to end up losing everything. And when I had nothing, I started working so hard. So I want to continue that momentum. I don't want to be falling behind. So I want to finish on some work. I just finished so much work, okay, but I want to continue. And the first draft will actually be quite easy to finish because I'm not erasing certain stuff, I'm not going back on certain stuff. I realize that for the second draft, I will obviously change paragraphs, change sentences, sometimes just completely nullify an entire chapter if it's not working, or just rearrange everything. But so far, I've been enjoying it, and I don't think I need to add anything more in between these chapters. I think the chapters are quite lengthy itself. Um, but honestly, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast writing, and honestly, I feel like I can do so much now when I write on paper. I don't know if I want to do the next draft on paper because I feel like doing it digitally will be a bit better. But then again, I feel like you know what, I should just think about it really. The reason why I want to do it digitally is because um, there's autocorrect, and there's also a feature on my phone that will tell me if there's any misspellings, or you know, if my sentences are all over the place. Also, if I type on my phone, it'll be much more better. So, anyways, oh, I got a comment. got tartines and a celebration. That's nice. That's so nice. I feel excited. You know, I feel the positive energy also from the bank teller exuded from her to me. So I think, oh, I feel so positive. Um, but honestly, it's quite nice just to have everything done. Now I have to continue my journey and finish up my books. So, anyways, let me give you another update on my books. I do plan to at least publish at least two, but I was thinking of throwing in at least one more with an extremely, um, you could say, cringy but also trending title. Obviously, I want this book, like this trendy book, to at least be the first book I publish in order to generate some form of income to publish the other books. Because if I have something small, it'll be easier to edit, cheaper to edit, and then I'll just be able to publish that, and after that I'll be happy, and then I'll generate all that money to publish larger books, important books. So I have a series about um, well, it's a bit weird, but not so weird. It's about these anthropomorphic puppies, and they go on adventures and they just do silly things. Really, I thought about that, and I just thought, you know what, that's a good idea, a simple thing to work with, but also nothing too deep. It's not a series that's going to be so out of place or something that you need to read all of them to enjoy. But honestly, I feel like this is going to be the series that's going to generate a lot of money, just so I can publish my other books. So I'm basically planning ahead of time for everything. All right. Um, okay. So, oh, by the way, I'm actually eating lunch right now. When I was in the in the branch, I was extremely nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I was so afraid. Even a few days ago, I was like panicking, wondering how the scenario was going to take place. I was wondering if they'll ask me all these hectic questions, or what if something happens, or something like that. And it's like, like I get worried, really worried about this. So thankfully, everything worked out in place. I'm not sure if I will have to phone the bank again, because last time when I phoned, they told me they escalated the fraud problem. So I don't know what they meant by that, and I don't know if they closed the book on the case because they did not tell me anything. They just returned my money, which I now saw, which makes me a bit happy. But at the same time, I'm also worried. I'm extremely worried about what's to come. Anyways, okay, let me just put my fan on. It's getting a bit hot. Oh, by the way, my fan, um, the same fan I have, I saw uh, at the bank teller's office. It was kind of funny, really. But her fan was cleaner and more white. Fan is like all dusty, and I had my fan since 2018, the good old when everything was all simple and I was younger. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated on my books. But as I was saying about the trending book, the book will have an extremely trendy title. I can't tell you the title right now because I'm afraid, I might change it, but I'm trying to have a trendy title that matches up with something that's you could say always being spoken about. And I really hope that book does well. I really hope it does. So it is going to be a children's book, but not like 1 year old, 2 year old books, but you could say like maybe 8, 9, 10, around that age demographic. And I just thought about not going too serious with this book because or series really because I want it to be a series to generate as much money as I can. But at the same time, I don't want to be extremely serious with all of my books. Some books that's going to be an epic saga needs to be serious, but other types of series I don't want to really be serious. And this one is going to be one of those not serious books, those you could say funny type of books. And I'm drawing inspiration from a lot of interesting cartoons, um, a lot of interesting cartoons I grew up watching. One of those cartoons is Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I love this show so much. Fun fact, it actually inspired me for many of my ideas. That's how impactful this series was to me. And you'll never get a series like that ever again, which is disappointing because cartoons these days, I'm sure you guys have seen the cartoons that come out of like modern day networks. The cartoons, I would say it's not just the art style, it's not just the Cal Arts art style, but it's also the fact that everything now is all about social justice. I'm sure you guys have noticed that. A lot of the cartoons are just so always talking about some political issue. And the thing is that that's because the writers are obsessed with politics. There's nothing wrong with having politics, obviously, or making fun of it. But the problem is that it's like they always have to like bring something up, you know, and that's kind of the sad part, really, because the cartoons I was watching just felt so much better. And Ed, Ed, and Eddie really was one of the best cartoons that could never be topped. Unfortunately, unfortunately, there were discussions of it being revived, which I thought was a stupid idea because, for one thing, it's not going to relate to a lot of children today because a lot of children they're so okay. I think my Wi-Fi is gosh. Okay, my Wi-Fi keeps disconnecting. I don't even know what the freaking problem is. I don't even know what the problem is. Okay, it keeps disconnecting. But anyways, let me just round up what I'm saying. A lot of children, you have to really force them to watch a lot of the old cartoons now because they're obsessed with all the other stuff, and it's kind of disappointing, really. But they don't watch a lot of the modern stuff either, like Craig of the Creek or any of the other cartoons that's like just modern and all woke. A lot of them don't watch it now because there's just more better types of entertainment. Like, yes, Skibidi Toilet is better than a lot of the cartoons coming out of Cartoon Network these days. So yeah, it's a bit sad to see a lot of cartoons turn into like preachy and obnoxious. But obviously, in the past, yes, there were cartoons that were extremely preachy and obnoxious, but a lot of people just ignored it. Now it's like, you know what? You have a lot of alternatives and you can easily ignore it. But how pervasive politics is in media today? Do you end up having to educate yourself on matters like economy, foreign policy, and actually impact? Do you end up having to educate? No, no, no. I don't. I just anytime I see a lot of the stuff, I just feel so tired anytime I see anything like just randomly inserted. I don't want to think about it because I see enough politics on Twitter. I see enough politics when it comes to watching certain news channels. So I don't want to see more of that. And anytime I see it, I just kind of like just sometimes I just want to completely ignore it if it's randomly thrown in something I like, or I just want to just completely give up on something. And these days, it seems that people always find excuses to put politics in everything. But the sad part is that, there is no, you could say, pushback in a different sort of way. Because if you think about it, if someone complains online about something having a bunch of politics when there was never politics in the first place, obviously that person will be called a grifter or that person would be called some kind of tourist. But the truth is that that person is just concerned. And the unfortunate part is that the only way now to really make good art is not by waiting for Hollywood or any of these major companies to provide for you. You have to do it yourself. You have to plant positive seeds in negative soil. In other words, a lot of the stuff that people deem negative today aren't that negative. So you just have to plant some positive seeds and try to at least become dominant in the entertainment space. That's the only way you could actually have a major voice or major influence. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to finish up my sandwich. So you'd rather remain willfully ignorant to the big picture stuff like the economy and foreign aid policy because it doesn't really reflect you that much and you can't care about it. Well, the thing is that I see enough of it all the time. I'm just not interested in seeing it everywhere else. Okay, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye.